What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and let's get into it. Okay, it is the 16th day of May. Here we are sitting at about $78,000 with roughly 11 and a half hours left in this day. We have dropped down a good bit over the past week or so now, specifically over the past couple days. We've seen some wicked volatility. We'll get into that in a second. But I think at this point, it is important to acknowledge that Bitcoin is showing its hand. The upside potential that we had to go higher is, I think, effectively out the window at this point. We are in the middle of confirmation. And don't get me wrong, I'm not one to buy into, or in this case, sell into a weekend dump, which this is a weekend dump. But it started on Friday. And the reason why we're in the middle of confirming the downside as far as a directional heading goes is that from a relative high point here to relative low point, this fib extension was a large reason as to why I believed we were going to go higher. Stopping here and seeing this kind of reaction at the 1414, typically you would go to the 1618 at least, if not higher. So long as you hold above the 1272, which is at about 79.3K. I remember, I think it was on this day, maybe it was the day after that red day there, I don't know. We were talking about the 79.3K level, and that closing below that would effectively say that we are going lower. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. It's exactly what happened on Friday. Now, it wasn't a dramatically lower close. There is still enough time in this day where, maybe we come up and we close back above the 1272. That can happen. And I would say that specifically today, maybe any day over the short term, but specifically today, if we can get back above the 1272 and close up there, that does leave the door open still to go higher, and maybe we do. But I really don't think that we're going to go up that much higher. I think at this point, considering anything that's really above 83.7K is off the table, maybe a slightly higher high, something like that, is still possible. But at this point, I'm really doubting that. I am shifting to the downside. I did say it throughout basically this whole... hold on. My goodness. I did say throughout this whole range that we were bullish until closing below this level. That happened yesterday. That happened about 12 hours ago. We are bearish now. That's what it is. We'll be bullish again. If I would say I'll be really bullish again once we get higher highs. Until that point, I'm not bullish. But even then, what, we're going to be bullish for just a little bit? It's the same general thought as the majority of this range here. If we do go higher, it's not going to be by much. Relative to this range overall, we are near the high, if not at the high. Okay? And sure, we got a little bit bullish at the top, didn't everybody? But overall, for what this run has been worth, we're basically bearish at the same levels here that we were here. Got a little bit excited here. Took a short-term bullish, what would I call that, perspective. But a spade's a spade. Got to call it what it is. We got the close that we were looking for to the downside, and that definitely, in my opinion, means that we're going to go lower. And not just lower from here, but lower overall. I do believe this to be the top of this range that we've been in now since February. I do believe this to be the top, and I do believe that we will proceed to the lower ends of this range, where we will inevitably break down and see our bear market finale. I think it starts now. Realistically, I guess it started on the 6th of May. But it starts now, guys. Let's look at the short-term stuff, and then we'll zoom out from there. Anybody holding altcoins right now, whenever we were at the top, everybody was saying, we're going to get an alt season. Altcoins are going to rally. Bitcoin dominance is going to drop. All these promises we've heard over the years. Meanwhile, I've been consistently saying on at least once a day, stack cash. Don't buy altcoins, stack cash, stack cash. And again, even if we were to go up higher, it would be just a little bit. We're still going to move down afterwards. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame, and then we'll zoom out from there. 1 hour time frame here on the Binance chart. There is some volume coming in, a little bit of volume. It is decaying to a certain degree, but if you look at all these spikes of volume, this is actually decent volume to push the price down here relative to this. So I think that's good. When I say good, I mean validating that we are moving lower. It is Saturday. We still have Sunday. A weekend dump oftentimes includes a early week pump, so do not be surprised if at some point over the coming days we do pump back to 80,000, maybe even 81,000. Bitcoin's price action has been very screwy. Very, very, very screwy, you guys. Up, down, and all around. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. I'm a little bit sick, so my voice keeps cracking out, but it's been very screwy. Maybe we do go a little bit lower, then we come back up. I wouldn't be surprised if we found resistance at prior support. We might not get back above 80K. Perhaps we really do stop somewhere around $79,000 to $80,000. We don't actually cross back above 80K for the rest of the year of 2026. Friday did close here. So technically the gap, the CME gap, would only be formed at about 79K. We do not have to go above that level. Or at least not too far above that level. Prior support. It makes sense to me, man. Again, just because it's the weekend doesn't mean we can't dump lower. But if we do dump lower, and by Sunday's close we're lower than we are now, we're going to have a pretty big gap that might entice Monday to pump back. Okay, something to think about going forward. The RSI is oversold. Every time we've been down here, let's just put a quick dot on that real quick. Oops, wanted to do that. There we go. Hi, Mufasa. Hi, buddy. He's been outside, man. I got my cat Mufasa with me here. He's been outside for like a week. I'm trapping him inside now. Looking at this here, relative low, sure, relative low. We went from 80K to 81.5K. Not that significant. Here, we saw that wicked kind of BART pattern pump. We saw the BART back down here. This was a relative low as well, but it didn't promote anything. Here we're at a relative low again. Don't get too excited, guys. The RSI is very bearish right now. It's very volatile overall, but very bearish right now. Stochastics are bearish. MACD is bearish. Everything sucks. 4-hour time frame. Man, my voice is cracking hard. Wow. I feel like this is worse than puberty. 4-hour time frame here. Lower lows, lower highs. Looking like we're going to get oversold. The 4-hour time frame, I mean really any time frame, but specifically the 4-hour and upwards, like to the daily, to the weekly. When you get oversold, when you get overbought, typically that signals a breakout. Okay? Typically. Not always, but typically. Here we got overbought, but we got overbought and got out of the overbought zone. Whenever we started getting overbought here, this was a breakout from this downward sloping trend right here. And this was the beginning of your move up, your overall move up. Here, we're getting oversold for the first time since this breakout. I believe we're rounding off the top here. You can see this kind of top rounding off like this. We likely have lower to go. This is likely the beginning point, and this volume, I think, is sufficient to mark a breakout. But again, remember, we're at this lower low point. It's the weekend. We've got the CME gap. Don't be thrown off. Don't get too excited if we see a lower high. Okay? Where we went from total bearishness here to bullishly optimistic with overall bearishness, still expecting downside, but first a little bit of a move up. Got that wrong. Whatever, it happens. I'll be wrong again. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. Don't get excited if we move up here. From now on, really, throughout anything in this price range, the bearish perspective is dominant until we see a higher high. Until we see a higher high. That's how it has to be. Again, if we could close back above about 79.3K by the end of today, the chances to still see a higher high overall are there. But if we do not close, and when I say they're there, that doesn't mean that they're likely. They're just still there. It's still an open door. Still a chance. It's like a barely open door. But if we close below 79.3K, the door is slammed shut. Slammed shut officially. Do not get excited on any kind of rally that we might see on Monday or Tuesday. I mean, it makes so much sense, right? Trump met with Xi, and he brought his whole posse with him, all the Silicon Valley elites, the top dogs of the industry. They made their deals. MicroStrategy is talking about offering dividends multiple times a month, where I guess STRC is. That's going to add more selling pressure, in my opinion. There was something else that Michael Saylor said that just, to me, encouraged selling. What was it that they were doing? Oh, yeah, they're doing the buyback, $1.5 billion buyback for MSTR. Where's that money going to come from? STRC? Well, then that means it's not going to Bitcoin. Is it coming from their Bitcoin reserves? Then it's not going to Bitcoin. That's you're missing out on a lot of money there that should be going into the markets, or that would have been going into the markets. Who am I to say what it should be doing? Let's move on. Stochastics are bearish. MACD sucks. Why does it suck? Because, well, you were above the zero for a long time. You found support at the zero here, and what'd you do? Not much. You got below the zero, rejected the zero. What'd you do? You did a little bit. You moved down. You're picking up volume. So the bearish side is really taking over, you guys. And it is the weekend. That's the one thing really giving me pause right now to be like, oh my God, we're going down right now. I do believe, and I've said this since this area here, but it's I think appropriate to talk about now. When we do drop, there will be a sudden shift down. Dropping from, really from 82K down to 77.6K is not the size that I'm talking about. We will go lower. We'll probably have a sudden shift down below this low. Whereas before, from these highs, the sudden shift was expected to be below this low. Now we're up a little bit higher. It should be below this low. We'll move down, sudden shift, slowly move back up, and then move back down again. And we'll meander our way. I don't think that it's just going to be a straight shit fest to new lows. It could be. I don't think it will be. I think we will meander. We'll work our way down slowly but surely over time. And then July comes around, August comes around, something like that. We see our lows. Our lows will be put in for the bear market. And it's not going to look exactly like this. I'm just drawing it just to paint a picture here. But daily time frame, RSI refused to get overbought. Rejected it consistently. We're seeing the weakest readings we've seen now in well over a month. You had an uptrend here, higher lows and higher highs. It ended in the overbought zone. We're breaking out now. We've seen this before. You're going to come up. You're going to find resistance. You're going to work your way down. That's how it's going to be. You're going to form a new downtrend. We're probably at the low ends of that downtrend right now. This is probably, something in the works like this. I don't know. It doesn't have to be parallel, but if we draw it parallel, maybe we find support and then we move up and then we move down. Stochastics are oversold, looking bearish. The MACD is still pretty hot. It's in an overall bullish trajectory, but you're building bearish momentum now. It is what it is. You don't have to like it, but it is what it is. At this point, any confidence that the bulls have that the price is going to recover, I think is built on bias and hopes and dreams. We will see lower lows. We will likely see prices that are anywhere from $55,000 to $49,000. I personally don't believe that we get as low as $49,000, but I do accept it as a target. I'm thinking something closer to this level will be where we go, 52 to 55K. It is possible that we see a slightly lower low and it's a fake out. It is possible, but something below this low. Again, I don't think this is going to happen. I don't think this is going to happen. I accept them both as targets, potential targets. We could have a slight fake out. Maybe we don't get this low. But as far as I'm concerned, over the months to come, by the end of Q3, I'm expecting that we will be down here. Hit that like button, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.